Have you ever heard the phrase, as safe as homes? Your house is meant to be your safe place where you can hide from the bad world. For some people, that just means 4 walls and a bolt on the front door. For others, they need a shelter capable of enduring the apocalypse. When you're worried about the threat of asteroids, World War III, global pandemics, and zombie invasions, how better to survive the end of the world than in a home built to resist anything? For today's video, we're going to take a look at 15 extraordinary houses that are built to last forever. Number 15. Malator House. Some homes are designed for safety, some are for show, but Malator House in Pembrokeshire, Wales, manages to be both invisible and unshakable. This ultra-cool home was finished in 1998, not for the average millionaire family, but for Member of Parliament Bob Marshall Andrews, and the design firm Future Systems went all out. From far away, you'd honestly think it's just a grassy hill with a quirky curved window and a chimney sticking out like a periscope. Beneath that disguise sits a fortress of steel and concrete, topped with a living roof that keeps it warm in winter and cool in summer. The earth itself works as a shield, swallowing up high winds and holding steady temperatures. Inside, it's open and minimal, broken only by bright pods for the kitchen and bath. The huge glass front stares straight at the Irish Sea, flooding the place with light. Malator isn't just built to survive, it's built to blend in, almost like the land claimed it back. Number 14. Ark House of Poland. Polish architect Robert Konieczny is well known for crafting sleek, high-security homes that fuse design with practicality. His Ark House, which is situated in rural Poland, strips away all aesthetic frills and focuses strictly on protecting what matters most: his family. The design is entirely custom, resembling a defensive structure that can seal itself off at a moment's notice. The exterior is built from raw, interlocked precast concrete slabs. While floor-to-ceiling glass spans every wall, massive sliding concrete panels can block them instantly from the outside. Entry is via a concrete drawbridge that retracts into the structure itself, turning the house into a fortress. There are no gates or weak spots. When closed, it's fully sealed. This isn't a concept. It's a fully livable, smart structure engineered for worst-case scenarios. The contrast between sleek, modern interiors and its locked-down exterior is startling, but deliberate. Konieczny wasn't designing a dream home. He was building a family stronghold ready to outlast uncertainty. Number 13. Flood Barrier House. In a low-lying nation where nearly a quarter of the land sits below sea level, the Netherlands has long been associated with flood control. One of the boldest innovations in recent decades is the emergence of amphibious homes, designed not to resist floods with brute force, but to adapt and rise with them. In the village of Maasbommel, along the River Maas in Gelderland, stands a row of seemingly ordinary homes. Beneath their modest facades lies pioneering flood-resilient design. These homes were developed through a partnership between architecture firm Factor Architecten and water specialists Dura Vermeer. Completed in the early 2000s, they're not prototypes or shelters, they're permanent residences. They don't rely on stilts or levees, but on buoyant concrete foundations that float within dock-like steel frames. When floods arrive, the homes rise with the water. Vertical guideposts prevent tilting or drifting, and utilities connect via pivoting hoses. The lightweight timber structures resemble modern townhouses, but in floods become calm, stable rafts. They don't defy water. They simply remove the danger. Number 12. Earthship Biotexture. In Taos, New Mexico, there's a community of homes unlike any other. Called Earthships, these off-grid structures were designed not just for decades, but for centuries. Developed in the 1970s by architect Michael Reynolds, they arose from a need for sustainable, self-sufficient housing. Built primarily from earth-packed tires, these thick walls are later coated with adobe or concrete. The result is a durable, fire-resistant, and thermally efficient structure. Glass walls on the south side absorb solar heat, storing it in the tire walls and gradually releasing it overnight. The roof collects rainwater, which is filtered and reused for drinking, bathing, irrigation, and toilets. Solar panels provide electricity. Gray water feeds indoor plants. Their longevity comes not only from their design, but from the materials: non-combustible, rot-proof, pest-resistant. Many original Earth ships from the 70s still function. If these can survive Taos's harsh climate, they can survive anywhere. These homes don't challenge nature. They work with it, and that's why they last. Number 11. Safe House. In a quiet Warsaw suburb stands one of the most secure homes ever built. The Safe House was completed back in 2009 by KWK Promes, and it looks more like a modern fortress than a family dwelling. Built with reinforced concrete and steel, its cubic shell surrounds a glass interior. What makes it extraordinary is its kinetic design. Massive concrete walls slide into place, sealing the structure completely. Doors, windows, and even the second-floor terrace retract or close off, transforming the house into a sealed block. When open, the house is bright and open, but in emergencies, it locks down. The concrete and steel make it earthquake, storm, and attack resistant. Backup systems for water and power ensure independence. There's nothing historical or decorative. This is a structure built for permanence. Despite its defensive outer shell, the interior is warm and livable. Designed for a world of rising instability, the Safe House doesn't pretend to be normal. It's unapologetically secure, and that's exactly what makes it last. Number 10. Villa Valls. Carved into the alpine slope above the village of Valls, Villa Valls is almost invisible from above. Completed in 2009 by Christian Mueller and Search, this circular subterranean home was built to preserve the natural beauty of the landscape. Only a round stone-framed window hints at its presence. Everything else is buried under earth, rock, and vegetation. This is no design trick, it's structural logic. The surrounding geology insulates the home, buffers the weather, and reduces exposure. Reinforced concrete forms the internal shell, and the earth keeps indoor temperatures stable. Sunlight enters through the panoramic glass, filling the open layout with warmth and natural light. Durable concrete and local wood give the interior both resilience and character. The home's location and form protect it from wind, storms, and environmental decay. Since its completion, it has needed almost no major maintenance. It proves that longevity doesn't require dominance. Sometimes the strongest homes are part of the mountain itself. Number 9. Fujian Tulu. In southeastern China's Fujian province, huge circular and square structures still house entire families. Known as Tulu, these fortified buildings, built by the Hakka and Minnan people, date back over 600 years. Some span 70 meters in diameter, up to 5 stories high. The exterior walls are thick rammed earth mixtures of soil, stone, bamboo, and sticky rice, giving them earthquake resistance and thermal efficiency. Each has a single fortified entrance, often braced with iron or stone. Inside, rooms circle a central courtyard. Each family occupies a vertical section, cooking below, sleeping above. Courtyard wells and shared kitchens sustain self-contained community life. Rainwater collects via roof channels. Their round shape distributes seismic forces evenly. Many survived the 1918 and 2018 earthquakes, while modern buildings failed. With shared kitchens, communal resources, and generations under one roof, their ecological footprint is low. Over 3,000 Tulu remain, including the famed King of Tulu, with 400 rooms. These aren't ruins. They're still alive, still lived in, and still unshaken. Number 8. Cave Houses of Guadix. In the hills of southern Spain, one of Europe's oldest continuously inhabited underground housing systems, still thrives. The cave homes of Guadix, located in Granada's Andalusian province, aren't relics. They're living, breathing homes carved into soft clay badlands. Known as Barrio de las Cuevas, this community dates back to at least the 15th century, possibly earlier. The dwellings combine whitewashed stone facades with interiors tunneled deep into hillsides. Families have passed these homes down for generations, adding rooms over time. The earth provides insulation, keeping indoor temperatures between 17 to 20 degrees Celsius year-round without electricity or heating. These homes resist snow, fire, UV radiation, and extreme winds. With no timber framing, there's no risk of rot or termites. Their monolithic form eliminates structural weak points. Over 2,000 are still in use, some with solar, septic, or geothermal upgrades. Even those without remain livable. Many are hand-carved using traditional techniques. In architecture today, these cave homes are now studied, not as novelties, but as models. Number 7. Superadobe domes. In Hesperia, strange earth-tone domes rise from the desert floor. These are superadobe homes, developed by architect Nader Khalili and built at Cal Earth Institute. Their method, earth-filled sandbags, coiled in layers and reinforced with barbed wire, form monolithic domes that require no concrete, steel, or wood. Once plastered, they resist fire, water, earthquakes, and even blasts. The dome shape evenly distributes pressure, making them more stable than flat-roofed homes. Openings are arched to avoid weak points. The foundations include gravel beds and drainage to prevent moisture buildup, solar panels, power lights, while natural cross-ventilation cools interiors without AC. Originally designed for refugee shelters, these domes are now permanent homes, still standing decades later. In quake zones like Pakistan and Nepal, they've proven life-saving. NASA even explored their use on Mars. Built without nails, wires, or synthetic glue, they require no high-tech upkeep. Superadobe isn't a style. It's a structural logic rooted in permanence, low cost, repairable, and stubbornly unbreakable by time. Number 6. Icelandic turf houses. In Iceland's brutal climate, where winters are endless, winds unrelenting, and volcanic activity constant, turf houses proved that survival isn't about scale, but sensibility. These homes trace back over 1,000 years, first built by Norse settlers adapting to a strange land with scarce timber and heavy soil. Thick slabs of grass-covered earth, cut intact and stacked like bricks, form walls up to a meter thick. Timber, often driftwood or traded, anchors the interior. The turf locks together with roots, especially sedge and moss, making walls that breathe but resist collapse. Roofs mirror the hills, absorbing snow in winter as thermal insulation. Interiors followed a longhouse layout, shared spaces, livestock warmth, central fireplaces, and packed earth floors. Ventilation came from roof seams, not chimneys. The turf wore down slowly and could be replaced without tools. Some 18th century turf homes still stand. Today, they're preserved and even reintroduced, not as novelty, but as blueprints for low-impact, climate-proof housing. Number 5. Dome Home. The Dome Home was built in 1982 by retired oil producer Bob Lee. It was designed from the beginning to withstand extreme coastal forces, especially hurricanes. While no longer standing due to shoreline collapse, not structural failure, it remains one of the most iconic real-world examples of private resilience. Elevated on pilings to stay above storm surge, its geodesic design wasn't for looks. It evenly distributed stress and let wind pass around the structure rather than slam into it. That minimized resistance and reduced potential damage. The dome survived multiple Category 4 and 5 hurricanes, including Ivan in 2004 and Dennis in 2005, without structural compromise. Its concrete and foam construction created thick walls with zero cavities. Plumbing, electrical, and ventilation systems were embedded to avoid salt damage. Solar panels and rainwater collection made it self-sufficient. In the end, the sea moved beneath it, but the house never failed. Satellite images showed it standing while everything else around it vanished. Number 4. Casa do Penedo. In Portugal's northern Faith Mountains stands one of Europe's strangest houses, Casa do Penedo, or House of Stone. From a distance, it looks entirely natural. 4 massive granite boulders nestled into a windswept landscape. But between the rocks are window panes, a tiled roof, and a steel-reinforced door. Built in 1974 as a family getaway, not for tourists, the home uses the boulders as primary structural supports. Granite is among the strongest natural materials, immune to rot, fire, and warping. 2 boulders act as sidewalls, one as rear support, and another integrates into the roof. The home's remaining structure is local stone, mortared and sealed. Stone slabs atop the roof divert rainfall and store thermal energy. Furnishings are minimal: stone counters, wood benches, and a small fireplace. With no plumbing or electricity, there's nothing to leak, spark, or decay. That simplicity is a strength. All right, now, let's move to Number 3. Trulli of Alberobello. In Apulia, southern Italy, sits the fairy tale town of Alberobello, home to the Trulli, whitewashed limestone cottages topped with conical stone roofs. Their design isn't decorative, it's durable. Built using dry stone techniques dating back centuries, Trulli use no mortar. Stones are layered by hand in circular walls, then capped with a corbelled dome, each layer narrowing inward, creating a vaulted ceiling without scaffolding. The thick limestone walls insulate against heat and cold. Roof slabs deflect rain and resist fire. Many roofs are painted with lime wash symbols, stars, crosses, moons, meant to protect families. Despite lacking concrete or steel, these structures have survived for hundreds of years. One, Trullo Sovrano, even has 2 stories, proving the technique scalable. Repairs use original materials and methods passed through generations. These aren't ruins, they're homes. Families still live in them, maintain them, and rebuild them when needed. The Trulli aren't relics, they're functioning and amazing. Number 2. Traditional Tibetan stone houses. High in the Himalayan plateau, where oxygen thins and winters drag on, some of the world's toughest homes still stand. Tibetan stone houses, called kangpa, are multi-story dwellings, built entirely by hand, often without mortar. Found in regions like Ladakh and central Tibet, these homes use only stone, earth, and rare timber with exceptional craftsmanship. The base level is often used for livestock, the middle for cooking and living, and the top for storage or rituals. Animal warmth rises through thick stone floors, heating upper rooms. Walls are typically over 2 feet thick, acting as thermal regulators, absorbing heat by day, releasing it slowly at night. Flat roofs layered with packed earth, gravel, and straw collect snow, forming extra insulation. Wood joints, often carved without nails, give the structure flexibility during quakes. Entrances are narrow and shielded from the wind. Sacred geometry and orientation guide construction. Passed down through generations, these homes require only local materials and seasonal upkeep. Number 1. 8570 Coal Crest. Perched high above the exclusive, ultra-desirable Hollywood Hills sits a property that could easily make a James Bond villain green with envy. With a steep $5.8 million price tag, it was designed by Al Corby, best known as the founder of SAFE, a firm that builds security systems for global governments. Entry isn't simple. You'll need to pass a battery of biometric scans before you even get to the door. Inside, it appears to be a typical 5-bedroom, 8-bathroom luxury residence, until you realize the walls are fortified with steel-reinforced concrete. Beneath its minimalist facade lie twin earthquake-resistant bunkers buried 30 feet underground. Any intruder who dares to enter is met with a disorienting fog system triggered at the first sign of intrusion. Corby believes that if needed, his family could survive for 3 full generations off the stocked supplies. This isn't just a mansion. It's a fortress designed for legacy survival in high style. If you enjoyed this video, like and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you soon.